Hey, welcome back, everybody. We're going to wrap this up, and let's break down what I thought before we get into what we're expecting the town hall, which is in a couple of weeks. The end of the debate was so we had your genius moment. This was kind of like my moment. This was my record scratch moment.
How do you spell that? Oh, okay.
You know, I couldn't, or my Scooby-Doo is surprised moment. So he throughout, I can't remember exactly when it happened the first time, where he was mentioning, well, you've run all these ads against me. They're very hurtful. They're very unfair. You're being very mean to me, that sort of stuff, which he's done with other candidates. But then as they're finishing up, is right after the Machado thing comes out, and they're talking about the legitimacy of the president, and he says, well, I just want you to know that I could have said some really nasty stuff about some really hurtful things about you. And
this is that great.
But I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. So thank you very much. And we all knew what he was talking about. Everybody in that room knew what he was talking about. You had President Clinton and Chelsea sitting right there in the front row. I could say something really nasty about you and your family, and I'm not going to do it. And I just like, whoa, what is going on here? He sounded like every bully that you've ever talked to who knows that he's just lost the argument or just been well, you don't even know what I would do, pal. I would mess you up so bad. And then Giuliani goes out and Chris Christie goes out, and all the surrogates go out and say, well, he's talking about Bill, like as if we were idiots. And yeah, I would absolutely punch her with Bill's infidelity. For sure I would. He just didn't want to do it because he's classy, and Chelsea was sitting in the front row.
Plus it ain't going to work.
No, it's not, but like, do you think did that surprise you? And do you think that was something that like that his campaign can't think that that's a good attack line?
Well, here's the thing we keep mentioning, or at least I keep mentioning, how consistent his polling is. The reason it's consistent is people understand that he's not a polished politician. He is a blowhard. He can be a bully. He's sometimes, an ass. And the problem is they're going, it's better than the stuff we have going on in Washington now. Those are his supporters.
Which is such a depressing thought.
It is. And the problem really comes down to is, pal, you haven't met Mean yet. I mean, what Hillary Clinton has done is use your own words against you.
Yeah.
And if you would, honest to God, my hero of all time is George Patton. And my favorite movie of all time is Patton. And there's a line in there delivered by
George C. Scott?
No, by the guy Carl Malden.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yes,
yeah.
It says, you know what, George, you're the most talented guy we have, but your own worst enemy is your own big mouth. And Mr. Trump, I appreciate you talking about my dad and sending your wishes. I cannot tell you the level of gratitude I have for that small message. But honest to goodness, you set yourself up to get hammered. There's nothing that Hillary Clinton has run that you haven't really said.
Yeah.
And it's not being mean, it's repeating what you've said. And and don't get me wrong, I've said a couple of things that I go, oh my goodness, and you've been witness to a couple of them. You're going to have to figure out a way to get around that, because the world, when you're out on the international stage talking, and you have Putin crapping on you, and you have the Prime Minister of China crapping on you, and you have some guy from a country that has 20,000 people crapping on you, you're not going to be able to react the way you react now.
Or Iranian soldiers giving you the finger.
Or Iranian soldiers giving you the finger.
So the next debate is the town hall. People really love the town hall for some reason. I don't know why. Because it's regular folks, but it's the riskiest, I suppose. The state. I kind of think that the town hall between George H.W. Bush and Bill Clinton, that was the debate that really separated Bill Clinton, that really just stuck H.W. in the ground. Because that was, remember that famous moment where he couldn't understand, where Bush couldn't understand that young lady's question about how he's personally suffered under the recession,
Yes.
Remember that? And then Bill Clinton launched that 4-minute, I know when that person can't make his rent, I know that guy, and I know that hardware store owner, just buried him in the town hall. So the town hall was risky. There's been a lot of chatter that because Donald Trump, and this is just opinion and punditry, but because Donald Trump did so poorly, he set himself up to win the big one. At least the media is going to spin it that he's won the town hall to make it more of a race. I mean, what do you think?
Well, and part of this really is media manipulation. On Sunday afternoon, they already had headlines going, Clinton wins the debate.
Yeah, I think we're smart enough to ignore that stuff.
The other thing I want to mention is the hot. You mentioned the how Trump was going to say, "Hey, I have a lot of bad things," and mention Bill's infidelity. That lit up my phone. People are upset and do not want Hillary linked to Bill's infidelity because they're two completely separate things. Yeah. I think that'd be a bad thing for any Republican.
I think it could blow up in his face. Well, I mean, you got guys like Giuliani has been relegated to kind of like, weird Clint Eastwood territory at this point. But no, so I think him going around, well, and you got all these guys that have cheated on their wife. There's a reason why Rudy and Newt hasn't done it, but guys like Rudy, Newt, and Trump should stay away from that stuff because they've all cheated.
Yes, absolutely.
All of them. Now, you can say I've got forgiveness or whatever and redemption, whatever. That's fine, except that you can't trot that out as an attack against the wife against the victim of the infidelity. Yes. No matter what she's done. People are going to have a lot of sympathy for that. So, do you think that the town hall format favors one or the other, or both, or neither?
Well, if Hillary prepares to go out and be friendly, because she has that reputation. You even mentioned it. She kind of she's stone cold, and that
means she's a killer.
Yes, and that makes people uncomfortable when you're a killer. I don't care where you are. And Trump can work a crowd like nobody's business. Trump can be very warm and effusive in front of a crowd, especially if he gets to be the center of attention. And I think it does, in a way, benefit him. I think if Hillary shows the same kind of perseverance and dedication to preparing for this town hall and tweaking what she does, I think that she can do very well in this debate.
Well, see, the reputation that all the insiders talk, all the people that have worked on campaigns with her, all the folks that have met her in person. I've never met her in person.
I mean, you haven't won the lottery to see her?
I also haven't donated $10 to be put in a drawing to get a hat and to meet her at one of her country clubs either. It's just so stupid. The Facebook fundraising is on both sides is so dumb. Yeah. But no, so my dad shook her hand once back in the 90s when he was doing union stuff with the NEA. And didn't really have an impression of her because it was just like in a handshake line. But what you hear from people is that she remembers. She's like Bill. She remembers you. She remembers things about your family. She's like Newt Gingrich is like that too.
Yeah,
very very warm, very engaging, very friendly in the room, and she has this kind of veil that goes over when she's not as good proclaiming things as Bill or even Barack Obama. But I'm curious to see if he follows the same interrupt attack strategy.
It won't work.
I don't think it'll work because he'll be cutting off regular voters who are asking questions, and then you just look like a jerk.
Yeah. Well, and he doesn't need help with that.
He does not need help with that.
All right.
One final thought, and I want to get your before we go here. So, I've been thinking a lot about the Gore-Bush debate, the first Gore-Bush debate, where everybody said Gore won. Everybody said Gore won, and then Karl Rove got his hands on the sighing video, and that was pretty much it for the rest of the campaign. But everybody said, hey, look, Gore is smarter and is better prepared and knows how to do this stuff, and yet George Bush comes out and ends up winning and keeps the race super tight. And I'm curious, what I've kind of thought about, the difference there is, do you think that Trump could benefit from some of that stuff, or was Bush just more likable?
Well, the trick is Bush was dislikable to a fairly large segment of the population, just like Trump is. The difference is Bush was likable to the Hispanics and unlikable to, moderates. And the thing is I think that, Trump, if he keeps hanging around, what his bombastic attitude is really what attracts people to him. And like I said, there's a lot of closet Trump supporters that won't come out because,
well, I think George W. Bush is able to self-deprecate. Trump isn't, and I think that's going to cost him.
Yeah, you got that right. Are you going to be anywhere this week?
Oh, I'm just working,
Yeah, living a dream?
Trying to.
All right. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. We will be back right after this week.
Hi, I'm Representative Tom Shaw, and I love these guys. Both of them.
Love these guys. Get over here. Love both of them.